In the dim glow of a medical bay, a human soldier stood before a broken enemy. She was a warrior, scarred, fractured, abandoned even by her own kind. To most, she was hideous, something to fear. But he didn't flinch. He didn't turn away. And that single choice would shatter a secret older than empires, a truth her people had hidden for millennia. What happens when compassion, not weapons, breaks the barrier between human and alien? Tonight you'll find out. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. We bring you the best HFY sci-fi stories, tales where humanity's courage, stubbornness, or compassion changes the galaxy. If this story pulls you in, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share it with a friend who loves great storytelling. It really helps us keep these human-first stories alive. The medical bay hummed with alien machinery. Strange lights blinked in rhythm, casting shadows across the steel walls, but the room still felt empty. Empty because no one wanted to be here. Commander Elias Kane stood alone, his boots planted near the containment bed, watching the figure stretched out before him. His pulse was steady, but his thoughts churned like a storm. What lay in that bed wasn't human. It wasn't even close. She was a warrior of the Tref, one of the most feared species in the galaxy. Her exoskeleton, once golden and gleaming, was shattered and burned. Acid scars cut across her body. One arm looked more like a piece of twisted bone than living flesh. Her chest rattled when she breathed, like machinery that had taken too much damage. Most of the crew refused to step foot in this room. To them, she was terrifying, ugly in a way that seemed beyond repair. But Kane stayed, because he remembered. He remembered the battlefield where they found her, half buried under rubble, ignored by her own people, left to die alone. The squad had argued against bringing her aboard. She's Tref, enemy, dangerous. But Kane had overruled them. His words still echoed. We don't leave anyone to die, not even enemies. Now, days later, she stirred. One eye, her only good one, opened and fixed on him. Her voice rasped like a knife dragged over stone. Why? Do you remain? Kane folded his arms across his chest. Because you're alive. Because someone needs to be here. Her mandibles twitched, fractured but still sharp. Do I not repulse you? Look at me. My body is ruined. My form, grotesque. Kane didn't flinch. He'd seen worse. Men burned beyond recognition, women scarred by shrapnel, soldiers with bodies torn apart who still carried themselves with dignity. Ugliness to him was just another word for survival. You fought, he said softly. You endured. That isn't ugly. She narrowed her eye, studying him, searching for the lie. You speak falsehoods. To you I must be monstrous. Maybe to some, Kane admitted, but not to me. Silence filled the room, broken only by the hiss of the machines keeping her alive. She stared at him, not as a human soldier, not as an enemy, but as something else, a man who didn't turn away. Her voice, bitter but trembling, whispered, You do not turn away. Kane's jaw tightened. No. From that moment, something shifted. Over the next days, she spoke more. She gave him her name, Serial. She told him about the Tref, their armor, their ceremonies, their relentless drive to appear invincible. She admitted that weakness was never shown. Not to outsiders, not even to each other. Our true forms are never revealed, she confessed. To most, we wear masks. Even among ourselves, we conceal. Only the worthy may see what lies beneath. Kane raised an eyebrow. Worthy? She hesitated, her voice cracked with a weight older than empires. Worthy, to see what we are beneath, our true selves. Kane leaned back, silent. He didn't press, he didn't demand, he just listened. And that in itself was another kind of answer. But there was still doubt in her voice, a question unspoken. Was a human truly capable of being worthy? On the sixth night, the question would be answered, not by words but by fire and blood. The alarms shattered the stillness of the ship. Red lights pulsed in the corridors. The crew's voices crackled over comms, tense, panicked. Pirates, boarding parties, plasma rifles and blades. Kane's heart dropped straight to the medical bay. He knew exactly where the raiders would go first, the wounded alien warrior. To them, she was no more than a liability, a crippled prize to be executed. He sprinted through the corridors, his pulse hammering. By the time he reached the bay, he could already hear boots stomping down the hall. The door hissed open, and the first pirate burst through. Kane didn't hesitate. Gunfire roared in the enclosed space. Kane moved like a cornered wolf, firing, slamming, clawing for every inch of ground. One attacker went down, then another. He caught a burn across his arm. Another grazed at his shoulder, but he never stepped aside. He planted himself between the pirates and Serial's bed, his body the only shield she had. By the time reinforcements arrived, the bay was littered with bodies. Smoke curled from plasma scorches. Kane staggered, bloody but unbowed, still standing guard. Serial's single eye fixed on him, wide with something she had never shown before. Wonder. "You bled for me?" she whispered, voice trembling. "For one, not your kind." Kane wiped his brow, leaving a smear of blood across his temple. His voice was rough, but steady. "I told you I don't turn away." Something broke inside her then, not in weakness but in revelation. The words she spoke next were heavier than stone, carried on a tradition her people had never once broken. "Among my people," she whispered, "no outsider is ever shown our true form. It is forbidden. For millennia, we have hidden it. We appear armored, terrible, monstrous. That is the mask we show the galaxy. But you did not flinch when I was broken. You did not flee when I was hideous. You stood before death for me. That means—" Her body trembled. The machines hummed louder, responding to some unseen change. Cracks spread across her exoskeleton, glowing faintly. Shards of scarred armor fell like ash to the floor. Kane stepped back, not in fear, but in awe. Her body unfolded, almost like a cocoon tearing open. The grotesque armor fell away to reveal something radiant beneath. Translucent skin shimmered with colors like starlight reflected on water. Her eyes, once dim, now blazed with galaxies, as though entire star fields burned within them. Her body moved with the grace of living flame. She wasn't monstrous at all. She was beautiful in a way no human language could capture. Serial lowered her gaze, her glow dimming slightly as if bracing for rejection. "This is what we truly are, what we hide. Beauty invites exploitation. Light invites predators. If you recoil now, I will understand." Kane didn't recoil. He stepped forward, slowly, deliberately. His calloused hand hovered, not touching, but close enough to show he wasn't retreating. "I told you before," he said softly. "I don't turn away." Her eyes shimmered like stars. "You mean it?" "Yes," Kane said. "Ugly or radiant, armor or truth, it makes no difference. You're still you." For the first time since she'd been abandoned to die, Serial made a sound halfway between laughter and a sob. Her glow brightened, filling the room with warmth that reached him even through the sterile air. "You are strange, human, strange and rare." Kane gave a weary smile. "Guess that makes us both rare." In the days that followed, Serial healed faster, as though shedding her mask had unlocked strength long suppressed. She walked the corridors beside Kane, no longer hiding, no longer ashamed. And though the galaxy still called humans and Tref enemies, aboard one small ship, a different truth was born. A scarred human and a radiant alien, bound by the courage not to turn away. When word eventually spread that a human had seen the true form of a Tref, most dismissed it as impossible. No outsider could ever be trusted so deeply. But those who later met Commander Kane swore they saw something in his eyes, a quiet knowledge, a respect that ran deeper than treaties. And those who saw Serial at his side spoke of her radiance, no longer hidden, shining for all to see. The galaxy whispered, half in awe, half in fear. And that's the story. You didn't turn away when I was ugly human. That means you're worthy to see my true form. It's a reminder that strength isn't always about firepower or armor. Sometimes, it's about standing your ground when others would run and choosing compassion where others would see only monsters. That's the essence of HFY, why humanity matters in the vast cold of space. If you felt that moment when Cain refused to flinch, if serial ACES transformation struck you the way it struck him, then share this story. Drop a like, subscribe if you want more of the best HFY tales, and let us know in the comments what humanity's greatest strength is to you. Because in the end, we don't turn away.